Hi there. Today I have a book for you called Do You Have a Hat? And it's written by Eileen Spinelli, illustrated by Geraldo Valerio. There's some cute illustrations in here. I laughed when I read the cover because Do You Have a Hat? Since I live in Tennessee now, they call hats, does anybody know what they call a nice warm hat for when it's winter? They call it a toboggan. Now, I grew up in Illinois, and when we hear the word toboggan, it's a very long sled, maybe even a sled that can fit more people on it than just one. And when I was a little girl, what my dad would do, and it was common then. I don't think it's so common now. But they didn't plow the streets clear like they do now. So he would put a toboggan on the back of his truck, and he had a plow on the truck, and he would go through the neighborhood, and my three sisters and I, so there was 4 of us on the back of the toboggan, and we'd ride around the neighborhood, and sometimes we'd take friends too. And everybody enjoyed it, and my dad was very safe when he did that. So that was a toboggan, and we probably wore toboggans on our head, but we called them hats. So this book, Do You Have a Hat? Do you have a hat? Something fuzzy, warm, and red to keep the snowflakes off your head? Or maybe floppy brimmed and blue when summer sun shines down on you. Do you have a hat? It is good to wear a hat in the summer with the sun because it protects your face and head from getting burnt. Francisco de Goya had a hat with candles on the brim, a clever hat that suited him, that made a chandelier of light for painting far into the night. Do you have a hat? I'm guessing you don't have a hat like that. Igor Stravinsky had a hat, a tattered, battered green beret. He wore it every single day. They say it never left his head, not even when he went to bed. Do you have a hat? You see his kind of hat? They call that a beret. Look who else is wearing a beret hat. Can you see? I think there's quite a few people wearing beret hats. Carmen Miranda had a hat, a towering hat of plums and cherries, peaches, orange, and berries, plump bananas by the bunch, a hat her friends could eat for lunch. Do you have a hat? Who are her friends that want to eat her hat? The birds. And I think there's a bird, there's toucans. I think I saw a monkey or a lemur up here. Abraham Lincoln had a hat, a stovepipe hat, black and tall, a presidential carryall. Abe Lincoln wore it round the town with documents inside the crown. Do you have a hat? So he put his papers in there, kept them safe. Nat Love had a hat, a cowboy hat to wear, of course, or carry water to his horse, to give a pesky fly a slap, or play the pillow for his nap. Do you have a hat? Isabel of Bavaria had a hat, a cone-shaped hat so very high, it poked a gargoyle in the eye. The doorways had to be redone so she could fit through everyone. Do you have a hat? That's an awfully big hat. Walt Whitman had a hat, a rather old shabby hat, at times a makeshift table mat for writing poems in the sun or eating supper on the run. Do you have a hat? Walt Whitman is a famous poet, and you can read some of his poems with your parents' permission. Louis Comte had a hat to close his magic act. A normal-looking hat, in fact. But reaching in, as was his habit, Louis produced a bunny rabbit. Do you have a hat? John Chapman had a hat. They say he wore a cooking pot. Some folks believe that, some do not. If true, he was a sight indeed. A pot-topped sour, a pot, that's a tongue twister. A pot-topped sower of apple seed. Do you have a hat? Amelia Earhart had a hat. So did Daniel Boone, it's true. Charlie Chapman, Sally Ride, all of them had hats. Do you? Those are some interesting people to study, each one of them. Do you have a hat? A fancy hat? A hat that's plain? A hat for walking in the rain? A hat with feathers, flowers, bows. A hat that hoots, a hat that glows. A magic hat, a cap, a crown. A country hat, a hat for town. A single hat, squashed flat or tall. Is better than no hat at all. I'm going to show you the back cover. Everybody's parading their hat. Another book on this channel by Max Lucado is A Hat for Ivan. I absolutely love that book. So you can check that out. Hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you have a hat.